Jenna Carter had learned the art of invisibility long before she ever stepped into high school. It wasn't something she asked for. It just happened. Maybe it was the way she never raised her hand in class, or the way her footsteps made no sound when she walked through the crowded hallways. Or maybe it was because life had taught her to stay quiet to survive. At home, her parents were always busy, her father juggling 3 delivery jobs to keep the lights on, and her mother always somewhere between a second shift and exhaustion. At school, she blended into the walls like she was wallpaper, neither loved nor hated, just unnoticed. She wasn't bullied, and she wasn't praised. She was just the girl with the braid, or that quiet one in the back. Teachers often skipped over her during roll call and mispronounced her name on report cards. Jenna stopped correcting them after 8th grade. It didn't matter. She was used to being forgotten. But what no one knew was that Jenna had a secret world inside her. Every night, when the city lights outside flickered like a pulse, Jenna would open the worn, cracked cover of her leather journal and bleed truth into the pages. She poured her heart out, not just her loneliness, but her sharp observations, her aching hopes, and the tiny acts of love she saw around her. Her journal became her mirror, her therapy, and her only trusted friend. She wrote about the girl who hid her bruises under foundation, about the boy who always gave half his lunch away but never ate, and the janitor who hummed lullabies while sweeping up after angry, careless students. Most of all, she wrote about kindness, those small, unspoken gestures no one clapped for. And sometimes, she wrote about herself. Today, she once scribbled, "I held the door open for 15 people. Only 2 said thank you. It still felt worth it." Jenna never sought credit. If she offered someone her umbrella in the rain, she did it without looking back. When she helped a kid pick up their books in the hallway, she walked away before they could even meet her eyes. Once, she stayed behind after school for 2 hours helping a substitute teacher organize her papers. She never told anyone. There was no Instagram story, no good deed of the day selfie. To Jenna, kindness was supposed to be quiet, because when it's loud, it's often for show. When it's quiet, it's real. She had no idea that someone had started to notice. Nathan Reyes was quiet in a different way. A junior like Jenna, he was the tech guy, the one who built drones in his garage and always had a camera in his backpack. People either found him too nerdy or too smart to talk to. He didn't mind. His dad worked in film, and Nathan had learned early on that stories weren't always told in words. They were captured in glances, in silence, in unexpected stillness. So Nathan filmed everything. Not to go viral, not to flex on TikTok, but because he saw beauty in the unnoticed. While other kids chased trends, Nathan chased truth. One chilly Thursday morning, Nathan was editing footage for a school video project when he saw something strange on the screen. Jenna. She was walking past Anna Thompson, the most popular girl in school, who was crouched near her locker, clearly crying. Jenna knelt, reached into her bag, and pulled out a neatly folded white handkerchief. She placed it gently beside Anna and walked away without saying a word. Anna didn't even look up. The entire interaction lasted 6 seconds. Nathan watched it 7 times. Something about the way Jenna moved, so careful, so sure, and so invisible, made him pause. He realized in that moment he had hours of footage where Jenna appeared briefly, always helping someone quietly, always leaving before the applause. Like an unsung background character in everyone else's story, except she was the real hero. That night, Nathan scrolled through his archive. There was Jenna again, leaving food beside a homeless man near the library steps. Another clip, Jenna pulling a crying freshman aside and offering her earbuds so she wouldn't hear the bullies nearby. And another, Jenna replacing a flower on the school's memorial bench when no one was watching. It was like discovering a constellation that had always been there but never charted. His mind raced. What if people knew about her? What if someone finally told her story? The following week, Mr. Dreyfus, the English teacher, announced the semester's big project. Tell a real story about a real person, someone people don't usually hear from. Nathan didn't hesitate. He knew exactly who his subject would be. But how do you tell someone, hey, I've been secretly recording your acts of kindness for over a year? Awkward was an understatement. It took Nathan 3 lunch periods to build the courage. When he finally approached Jenna at her usual table in the back of the cafeteria, she looked up, blinking as if surprised that someone had acknowledged her. Hey, he said. Jenna, right? She nodded slowly. I'm working on this project, and I kinda want it to be about you. She frowned. Me? Why? Nathan scratched his head. Because you're the most incredible person in this school, and no one even knows. She looked away, her face flushed. I'm not incredible, she said, almost too softly to hear. I just do what I wish someone would do for me. That line hit Nathan like a punch in the ribs. It said more about her heart than any video clip ever could. She agreed, hesitantly, nervously, but on one condition. Don't make me a hero. I'm not one. I'm just me. Over the next few weeks, they worked together in secret. Nathan recorded new footage with her permission and collected old ones. He asked her to read parts of her journal for voiceover. Her voice, though trembling, carried a raw, powerful honesty that made the footage come alive. The video opened with Jenna walking alone down the hallway, her braids swaying as kids laughed around her. It faded into clips of her acts of kindness, small, powerful things most people overlooked. The voiceover said, "Everyone wants to be seen. But what if being unseen lets you love without limits?" The final clip showed Jenna walking out of the school, unnoticed as always, but now framed like a queen walking through her invisible kingdom. Nathan titled the video, "The Girl No One Saw." He presented it in class. Mr. Dreyfus wept quietly and asked permission to show it at the upcoming school assembly. Jenna hesitated, but Nathan reassured her, "You don't need to say a word. Let the video speak for you." The day of the assembly arrived. Hundreds of students filed into the auditorium, half expecting some boring announcement or another cheesy slideshow. But as the lights dimmed and the video began, silence fell. The entire school watched Jenna, not as the quiet girl in the corner, but as a soul who carried grace in her every step. They saw the handkerchief, the library notes, the small acts of love stitched into the fabric of their everyday lives, all tied to the same face they had ignored for years. When the video ended, the silence lingered. Then slowly, a clap, then another, until the room erupted in applause, not the polite kind, but the thunderous standing ovation kind. Jenna sat frozen, overwhelmed. Tears slid down her cheeks. For the first time, people weren't looking past her. They were seeing her. After the assembly, Anna, yes, the same Anna, ran to her. That day, I was having a panic attack. I don't even remember you being there. But your handkerchief? I still have it. I've carried it ever since. One by one, others came forward. A freshman told Jenna, "Your sticky note kept me from hurting myself that day." A janitor hugged her and whispered, "You remind me of my daughter. Thank you for noticing me." Jenna couldn't process it. How could so much love come from simply being decent? The video didn't stop at the school auditorium. A teacher posted it on Facebook, then it hit Reddit, then YouTube. Within a week, it had over 2 million views. Strangers messaged her, thanking her for reminding them that quiet kindness still existed. A local newspaper did a feature. A nonprofit offered her a scholarship. She was invited to speak on a morning talk show. But Jenna turned most of it down. She wasn't chasing fame. She wasn't chasing anything. She had just wanted to matter. And now she realized she always had. She and Nathan stayed close. They often sat on rooftops after school, talking about how odd it was that a story could change everything. One evening, she told him, "You didn't just film me. You gave me back to myself." 2 years later, Jenna stood before a crowd at a national youth summit. Her palms were sweating, her voice shook, but she spoke anyway. "There was a time I thought I was invisible. That kindness only mattered if someone applauded it. But I learned something. The purest love doesn't need a stage. It needs a heart. So if you're out there doing the right thing with no one watching, keep going. You might be the miracle someone doesn't even know they needed." Moral of the story: true kindness doesn't crave recognition. It flows from a heart that chooses good even when unseen. You may feel invisible in a loud world chasing applause, but remember, someone is always watching, even if it's just the person whose life you quietly changed forever. The smallest acts, done without expecting reward, often make the loudest echoes in people's hearts.